US 41. Yeah. Alright, this is gonna be a big, massive, long video. So we see US 41 is gonna be the first long video that we've ever covered. It's a big, major US highway as it goes from Miami to who knows in far northern Michigan. So you're watching Super Reviews. If you guys haven't subbed, you must sub because at 1,000 subs, we are opening up a Discord server. Yeah, you could see some special stuff over there when we get closer. And also, you can request your extra comments in the comments. It's free, and you can check the community page for future highways. And we're doing our first gimmick video on Thursday. Yay! Looking forward to that, and I'll explain more at the end of this video. Alright, here we go on this big northbound US 41. We're just going one way today because it's like a really long highway. So we're starting down in Miami, where we get West 41, which is actually correct, because 41's going in a west angle than it is north-south. And here's another look at downtown Miami as we have 41 reassurance shield, which the trees are ruining. So nice so far. And we meet I-95 right away. We don't get into control cities because this is right at the end of it, of 95. But on 95 itself, we just get signed for Southwest 8th Street and 2 Brickell Avenue, or US 1 specifically. And we meet 441 really right after 95, and of course, we don't get any control space for 41 or 441. And here's some more looks of Miami as we're going to be leaving it itself. So, yeah. And we meet 826, which is only signed for the airport for northbound. I feel like this should really be I-75 right here, because it's basically right at the start of it. But on that, we do get Tampa Trail. Don't know how to say that. And here we are on that trail. It is pretty nice for here as we get closer to the Everglades with these houses right there in that nice swamp. And we meet the Flores Turnpike, which is going north to Orlando, which is the perfect choice for that. I looked at the Flores Turnpike sign for that. And right away we get in the Everglades Astern as we head out of the Miami metro area. We just see nothing for the first 100 or 200 miles. Here's another look at that trail. It's really nice as we get through the Everglades swamps out here. And then here's a look at this random barn or farm in the middle of nowhere. So I'm just going to be jumping ahead a lot because this is going to be a long video. If you didn't like US 41, you can turn right on here to get on 29 to get on I-75, which will be faster. And here's a look at this river. We have a nice beach and you can just cross the river, so that's cool right there. And here's some more. We're leaving the Everglades. We're going to Naples, which can be signed on 41. And in Naples, we are signed for Fort Myers, which is the correct choice. And it's what it should be from Naples. And here's what it's like in Naples. It's probably a bit worse now since Hurricane Milton came not that long ago, like a month ago. And here's some more Naples stuff. This isn't downtown Naples because we just left Naples not that long ago. And we meet this Michael Parkway just outside Fort Myers, and we see an overhead sign right there. Let's see what we're signed for. Oh wow, we're just getting 41 south and 41 north. Good going, Florida. You can't do Naples, Fort Myers here. And we're getting closer into Fort Myers. Betcha the building to the right probably doesn't exist anymore because of Milton. And here's a look at the Fort Myers Airport. And there's an option to get on I-75 here, which is what's going to happen for first 1,000 miles. And then we meet this highway, which is a bit of a weird highway right here. And on that, we get 884 for Cape Coral and 41 for Cleveland Avenue. So we're only going to get streets in Florida, I think. And here's some looks of downtown Fort Myers here. So it looks like a nice control city sign. And we get this long bridge as we're leaving Fort Myers. So we have a nice bridge out here. And we're meeting Business 41, but we don't get any mention of that because Florida can't mention their highways for some reason. And I bet you Hurricane Milton evacuations had happened here on his right turn again on I-75. So yeah, that's kind of funny. And we are in Punta Gorda, I think, where we started up the US 17. So that's cool. And here's some more looks. This is either Punta Gorda. No, this is probably still Fort Myers, I think. I don't know. And we still have another bridge. Oh, I think this is Venice, Florida, where US 17 started. And again, we have a nice long bridge. And on here, we just get 41 south and 41 north. So we can't sign in the control cities again. And we finally get a mention of Business 41, which is going to be turning left. And we're still going to go straight to follow North 41. And then random mirror changes, it's still the same thing. This is either, I think this is in Venice, don't know. And then we get a shorter bridge as we're crossing to get out of here. This is either, this might be pretty cool, I don't know. And then we're meeting 681, which is signed for Tampa, because we're going to be meeting I-75 later on. And then on there we get 41 North Osprey. We should be signing Sarasota now. Come on, Florida, you really doing that? And as we're getting closer to Sarasota, we get these nice stores, which might have been taken down during one of the Florida hurricanes. And in Sarasota, we start 301, which is going to Bradenton, and we're signed for St. Armand's Key and Longboat Key. So only keys here. And we do get a nice view of downtown Sarasota, which could actually be signed out of Fort Myers, but Punta Gorda on the way is good. And of course the trees have ruined our look at Gulf of Mexico, but we might have a better look in Tampa. And then behind there is the Sarasota Airport, so we passed through a ton of airports on this road, I guess, so far. And of course, like all of the other cities, we have a 1 mile bridge that we have to cross in order to leave the city. I guess it's like a trend or something. And we meet the start of US 19, which is going to St. Petersburg because of 275. And we're going to Port Manatee in Tampa. We meet 275 itself, which is headed south for 75, and north for St. Petersburg. I don't think anyone will be getting on here. And then on 275, we just get Palmetto and Bradenton, which is only for southbound. So, which kind of makes sense because you prefer getting on 75. And we're getting Port Manatee as a control city, which kind of makes sense because if you want to go to Tampa, you'd be better off taking 75. And then we get some nice swamplands out here before we get to Tampa, so that's cool. And this might be one of the hurricanes that are occurring, but this was taken 5 months ago, so this might just be rain. Then we meet the Saloma, I think, and it's going to Brandon because of 75, and we're just getting North 41 for nothing. And on that, we get 50th Street for 41, so there, well, straight ahead is downtown Tampa. Then we get I-4, which is going east for Orlando, west for Tampa, so looking good so far. And we meet US 92. We're going to be concurrent with it, so we're going to turn left, but they don't mention US 41 for some reason. And here's one. We're parallel 275, going to Ocala, which is fine on 275, but not 75. And we go right under it after like 2 or 3 miles parallel to it. So we finally pass it. And we merge with, I believe, Business 41 again. Don't know what road that is. And we meet US 98, which we're following it to Floral City. Don't know about that, but North 98 is going to Homasa Springs. And we don't get mention of US 98, but it's supposed to turn right. Why do we get 58 instead of 98? Why Florida? And I think this is Floral City, so I think we could just skip Floral City and go straight to like Gainesville or something. It would be Florida 44. We can either go straight or right for our hurricane evacuation route. And US 41 is supposed to be following this ramp, but we don't get any signs for it. I looked for a bit, and they don't want to mention it. And then this is what 41 is like. We got a ton of rural or substantial areas, and then these trees block it, so that's cool. And we're going to be following Williston right here as we meet US 27 here, which is going to Bronson. And this is Williston or White Springs or something, as US 27 is going to be ending. And then this is US 44 E1, but we don't get any mention that we're going to be concurrent with 441. And we meet I-75 finally, but they don't want to mention where it's going because You'll probably be too embarrassed by them. But on I-75, we do get Lake City and High Springs. Lake City is fine on 41 with non-75 or 10. And in Lake City, here it is. This reason why we're signed for it. We just get 90 west, 75, 10, and 90. Turn right. And here's another look at Lake City. Shouldn't be a control city, but on US highways it's fine, but not on interstates. And we mean I-10, which is East Jacksonville. We're going straight for White Springs and Live Oak. Oh, and 10 West Live Oak. Are you kidding me, Florida? You can't sign Tallahassee or Pensacola. You can't even go straight to New Orleans. Why are you signing Live Oak? And then on that we get Lake City and White Springs. So White Springs is our next control city. Okay? And in White Springs we're getting Stephen Foster. What is that? That's basically nothing. Are you kidding me, Florida? And this is Stephen Foster. Why is someone's name a control city for Northbound 41? And we made US 129, which I didn't know existed, so, instead of US 29. So, okay. See, that's going to Live Oak. So I guess that's the reason why I-10 was signed for Live Oak, because of the 129 junction. And then we're going to Jasper now. Don't know about Jasper. Don't think that's even big enough. Here, U41 and 129 will turn left. And I think this might be in Jasper. Don't know. And we're going to be going left to Jennings, while 41's going to State, while 129's going to Statenville. And we get this Florida 6 going to Madison. And we might be in Jennings now. Don't know. See, we're getting Jennings 6, Valdosta 28. I think Valdosta should have been signed from 129 instead of Jennings. But it might just be me. And here's a look at Jennings. Don't know. Yeah, I'd skip Jennings overall. So, yeah. And we come into Georgia. So, we're leaving Florida now. Let's see. And just like in Florida, we don't get any control cities, just North 41 and South 41. And we're meeting these roads as we're getting closer to Valdosta, and still no control city for some reason. And we're meeting 84 and 221, and we're still not getting control cities, and we're in Valdosta already. And we swim with 221, which goes to Lakeland. We can have 221 signed for stuff, but we can't have 41 signed for something. And on 221, all we get is northbound I-75. So, Georgia is not doing a great start so far. And here's some stuff of what it looks like in Valdosta. So, it looks cool. And we're going to be meeting Business 41 again. Oh yeah, and that last time, they did mention Business 41, but they don't mention it here. We're meeting I-75, Macon and Valdosta, which would be Tampa and Atlanta. And we're actually concurrent with I-75, and we get off here just from one set exit, just Hyura, Barney, and Lakeland. And then this is what it's like in Hyura. We turn left with Georgia 7, and we start going back north again on 41. And here we are, and I think this is Hyura, where we have our signs for I-75. Turn left, and to the left we can see I-75, so we come pretty close to it in Georgia, and then in Florida. And then in our next city we meet US 319 and US 82. I do know these cities, but I forgot the names of them. Then we meet I-75 again, same control cities as before, and I have the same comments as them like last time. And then we are in another city, and we're signed for Cordell. Cordell is the correct choice. And I think that last time was in Tifton, and we 300, which is not signed for anything, which kind of makes sense. And then we're getting Cordell in Tifton, Cordell for North, and Tifton for South 41. Let's head toward Cordell. And here's a look at Cordell, where we meet US 280. I do think Cordell and Tifton are worth signing, that's fine. And then we get Unadilla and Montezuma. Oh no. And then we get this weird house in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't have a driveway. I think it's like 400 years old. And then we meet 75 South going to Valdosta, Georgia's favorite control city. We'll talk about it next week. And then on I-75 we get 41 Unadilla or Unadilla. Don't really know at all. And we're in Unadilla where we meet Georgia 230. So yeah, Unadilla I think we can skip. And then we parallel I-75 a lot. We're really closer to it than we were in Valdosta. And 75 South Tifton, you're not going to sign Valdosta? So you're going to sign Tifton? Are you kidding me, Georgia? Not Atlanta? And we meet US 341 here. So another 3-digit 41 in the state. And we turn right with 41 and 11 and 49. And we continue heading north. And we meet US 129 again. Wow, we're meeting a lot of highways again. But let's see what we're signed for. 129 is going to Warner Robins, which is kind of weird. And North Macon. Macon is the correct choice. And we're getting 41 129 for Broadway. And 41's going left, so why is 41 on there? You should just have 129. And then we're meeting I-75 again. We're finally signed for Atlanta. Wow, it takes them this long to sign Atlanta. And then we're now heading toward Forsyth because we don't go into downtown Macon itself. If you go toward Jeffersonville, then you will. And we meet 475, which is not signed for anything because why would we sign our biggest city in Georgia? And then getting off 475, we turn left for Forsyth, which is what we will. And Bolingbrook, that's a weird city. And here we are in Forsyth, which I do think is sensible out of Macon. It's fine. And then, of course, we're meeting 341. And we know what Georgia doesn't like to do at this point. If you guess it. And then they don't even mention 41 at all. We just get North 341 for nothing. Wow. And we're meeting US 19. Wow. We're meeting that one again since Tampa, which is kind of funny. And we're getting Barneysville for South and Atlanta. Wow, we're finally doing it, Georgia. That is a good one. And we're meeting Highway 20 for McDonough and Hampton. I mean, if it meets I-75, we can sign that for Atlanta's freeway. And we're going to be concurrent with US 19 and Georgia 3 to the right. If you go to the left, you'll be on I-75 right there. And on I-75, we just get Old Dixie Highway. Okay, Georgia, with your weird names. And then we're meeting 285 the perimeter. And of course, why would we have control cities? Because Georgia hates doing that. And then we get Hateville for 19 and 41. And then 75 North Atlanta, South Macon. Why are we going to say Highway 85 when we're closer to I-85? Speaking of I-85, here it is. We don't get any mention of it because, of course, why would we? We have to do the Pennsylvania thing. And here we go into Atlanta. We see the Falcon Stadium right here. I'm not going to show a ton of Atlanta because it's US 41. We're covering all of it. It's too long of a road to do that. And here's another look at downtown Atlanta. And that's it for downtown Atlanta in this video. And we're meeting I-75 again because we made it too much for some reason. And of course we don't get anything. We don't have any mention for 285 as well, but we see it's going to Greenville and Augusta. 75 is going to Atlanta and Chattanooga. And then we're meeting this road. 41 is going to Dobbins, ARB, and Marietta. So we're heading toward Marietta now. And then we're meeting I-75 for getting closer to 575. So I hope 575 is mentioned. And it is. If you haven't seen my 575 video from last week, it's in the description, along with Control C Freaks and DerpHog 41 videos. And we cross this nice bay. I don't know if it's actually not a bay, it's a lake. And here we get this nice Piedmont hospital outside of Marietta, which is kind of cool. And then we're meeting US 411, which is heading to Rome. We should be heading east to Rome if you're mentioning Rome, Italy. We're meeting I-75 again, and again we're not having control cities because that's the Georgia trend, I guess. On I-75 we're signed for Resaca. 136 is faster to get to Resaca because you can stay on the freeway and get there a bit faster. And here's downtown Resaca. I just skipped Resaca, maybe go with like something else. Just a little north of that, we meet US 76. And they don't mention West 76 for some reason, even though it's going to be with North 41. As you see right here, as we meet I-75 yet again, another time. And we do the Georgia thing. On that, we get Rin Gold. And this is actually at a couple exits later, because 41 and 76 are not going to curve I-75. And we get some nice scenery on the way to Rin Gold. Pretty cool here in northern Georgia. And here's Rin Gold. We're also curve Georgia 3. So that's cool. And then we have some more tight turns as we're leaving Rin Gold and eventually Georgia. And wow, for the first time, let's say Tennessee is 10 to believe in. Well, is it really? Let's see later. Here we meet I-75 for the last time. We see it's going north to Chattanooga and Knoxville, which is what Tennessee does, and it does a real good job. And we see me I-24, Chattanooga and Nashville, and 41's going to East Ridge, which is sensible. And we get this tight tunnel, and truckers can't go through this tunnel. See, there's going to be a roundabout soon. As soon as we get out of this tunnel, we have this roundabout that's like immediately after. I don't think that's even safe enough. And see, I-24 is going to be our new neighbor going to Nashville and Birmingham, which is sensible because of I-59. And then we're meeting US 64, but it doesn't mention it at all. We just get 4176 turn right. And see, same here, 64 goes straight, but they don't want to mention US 64 at all. They just want to mention 4176. Here's a nice view of downtown Chattanooga. See, this nice town. And then we cross under I-24 once again, because like I said, I-24 is going to be the new I-75 here. And then we split with 72, so we're going to follow Ruby Falls and Point Park and Incline Rock City, Tennessee, come on. And we get this tight road for Ruby Falls and Lookout Mountain. It is really nice out here as soon as you leave Chattanooga. And then we have another 24 junction. And they don't mention US 11. Come on, Tennessee, you're going to mention those but not 11? Because if you see on 24, they mention 11, 41, 64. But they're not mentioning US 72. They're put room for that. And then we see after that 24 junction, 24 goes into Georgia and B59. But 41 doesn't go back into Georgia. We just have this nice scenery. And then we cross this nice river. And with those beautiful, stunning Appalachian Mountains over there. And then here we cross into the Central Time Zone. We come in and out between Central and Eastern a lot in this video. And see, we're signed for Jasper. I think we're already in Jasper, but whatever, Tennessee, you can do whatever. See, we're going to be turning right here, but there's no any control stations, but that looks like a mild sign. So we'll take a closer look at that. See, Manchester 24, Nashville 88. That's good, but you could put that on 24. This is like a detour road if they don't want to take 24. But we do get some tight turns, so I don't think Nashville should be signed here. Maybe like Manchester. And then we jump ahead to Manchester, and we're now signed for Murfreesboro, because if you want to go to Nashville, you're better off taking 24. And then another 24 junction gives us Nashville and Chattanooga, which is what's like always between here on 24. And then some more nice scenery as we get closer to the Nashville metro area. And then we meet 70S, and they don't give us any control cities. I think we are in Murfreesboro here. And we also meet 231, and again, they don't want to give us any control cities at all, because this is Tennessee US highways. They hate doing that. And on this road, we get Northwest Broad Street. We're not going to put an actual city, but, I mean, it's US highways, whatever. We meet 840 East Knoxville and West Chattanooga. But I'm surprised about that. I thought they'd go Memphis, but Chattanooga's fine as well. And then on 840, we get Smyrna and Murfreesboro. I feel like it could go Nashville here, but it's fine. And then this is Smyrna. Yeah, I think you could just jump ahead to Nashville. Maybe Smyrna is a secondary. but definitely not as a primary. And then we're getting to Laverne, which is literally half a mile from here. Why are you signing that? Just sign Nashville. And we get a tunnel under the Nashville airport. We get a Southwest Airlines plane. So, always love those. And now we're getting Murfreesboro Road. Are you kidding me? Just sign Nashville. Don't sign in the street. We're being I-40 and 24. That's confusing for 40 here. People don't know where to go for gallon 40. And we get some nice views of downtown Nashville. This is our thumbnail, if you didn't look at that. And we meet US 31 here, but there's no signs that we're going to be having this roundabout with 31. So they can't mention stuff either. And then this is the Tennessee Capitol building, because Nashville is Tennessee's capital. Nice small house there. And then as we're leaving downtown Nashville, we still get a nice view of it, which is pretty cool. And then we're meeting 31E, which is going to Ellington Parkway, and we're now signed for Spring Street. Not even 24? Are you kidding me? Hey, we do mean 24 here, and we're not going to be comparing with 31W and 431. Lots of 31s in Nashville. And we I-65 as well, but we can't get any control cities for those. And suddenly 41's gone. We just get 155. And you see 41's now signed for Springfield, which I might actually think is a correct choice, because it's a U.S. highway. And we see we are in Springfield, I think. This is 431. We're meeting again. And then here's another look at more central Springfield-ish, Springfield, Tennessee here. And of course, 431 and 41 are leaving, and we can't get any control cities at all, because why would we? Because that's what Florida Georgia did. And we're now signed for Guthrie. Are you kidding me, Tennessee? What is that? Is that like the last small town in Tennessee? Well, we don't have to deal with them anymore. We now go into Kentucky. So let's see what Kentucky has to offer. Okay, so this is Guthrie. So it's the first town in Kentucky, because they can't sign a bigger Kentucky city. See, here would be US 79, which is signed for 24. But let's see what 41 is signed for now. We're getting Trenton! No, not Trenton again! Are you kidding me? Trenton is in Kentucky now? But we do get Hopkinsville, so Hopkinsville is our primary, so Hopkinsville is fine, as long as Trenton's the secondary. And we see now we get Trenton 6 and Hopkinsville 22. So glad that Trenton's not on the primary. Here's a look at downtown Trenton. And I don't have beef with this one, because it's a secondary. It's not a primary like it is in New Jersey. And we get bypass 68 and this horrible 41 sign. It's like damaged so hard that it can't be readable. And we get this parkway coming up. And we get truck 41, keep right, because they don't want trucks going through Hopkinsville. And we get the Perryville Parkway, which gets us to 24 from Paducah in Nashville, which I think St. Louis could be on there. And we meet US 68 itself in Hopkinsville, and of course, just like all of the other states, we can't have control cities on US 41. And here's a look at downtown Hopkinsville. Seems like a pretty nice town down here. And then we get 1682. Big numbers. Big state I was in Kentucky, and we're still getting North 41. And we're getting the Perryville for Madisonville, and 41 ridiculously for Nortonville. Don't like that at all. And here's a look at the Nortonville town center. 41 doesn't get to it, and it's a small town, so I don't know about Nortonville. And we meet US 62 just a little bit north of it, so that could be the reason why 41 was signed for it, but still no. And we cross under I-69 right here, but we'll eventually meet it soon. And here's a look at Madisonville, which was what the Perryville was signed for. So Madisonville I would prefer on 41, but it's fine. And we do meet I-69 a couple times, and 41's just going to turn left here. And we meet Kentucky Highway 2084, which I feel like this video will get uploaded in 2084 for some reason. And we meet I-69 south from Madisonville and Fulton, instead of like Paducah and Memphis, and 41 North Henderson. Don't know why 69's not on there. And I decided to jump ahead to Henderson, where we get 41 Evansville, 60 Owensboro, and 60 West Henderson. And we pass Henderson, and we're about to leave Kentucky and go into Indiana. And we cross the Twin Bridges over the Ohio River, and we'll eventually be in Indiana soon. And around there is where I-69's Twin Bridges will be, because they're going to take this bridge down and put the new one over there. And we get our new Indiana welcome sign, but we still have Benjamin Harrison. Indiana. And right away we meet I-69, which is something nothing, probably Indianapolis maybe, and we're going to Vincennes, which is the correct choice. This actually used to be 164, and it was signed for 64, before it was changed to 69, and now we're signed for Vincennes. And on I-69 it's still Vincennes and Henderson, Kentucky, so Indiana overall does better than all of the other states. And here's a look of 41 driving through Evansville. And then on this road, we get Henderson, Kentucky, and Vincennes, along with 62 and 66. And I like this bridge. It says City of Evansville, and it's always nice to see. I like that Evansville is doing that stuff. And most of 41 through Indiana is actually freeway, so that's a bit surprising. And we meet I-64 going to Louisville and St. Louis, which are the insane correct choices. Good job, Indiana. On I-64, suddenly we're signed for Terre Haute, which I think is larger than Vincennes, but I still prefer Vincennes. And see, it applies at interchanges. We get Terre Haute in Evansville. Don't know about that, but we do get Princeton 5, Vincennes 30, and Terre Haute 88. So it's nice as I still have Vincennes on there. Here's a look at Vincennes. Vincennes actually used to be the capital of Indiana before it was moved to Indianapolis, and it was a famous war spot. And here we get Terre Haute in Indianapolis for 41, 50 for Washington, which is a little weird. And then leaving the US 50, we get Terre Haute along with 150. We're going to be curve 150 for a little bit. And then at random interchanges, we're signed for nothing, so like the other states, they're allergic to sign control states, but this is just a one-off for Indiana. And I think this was the reason why Indianapolis was signed, because of the 67. If you're going to sign Indianapolis, and sign Indianapolis on 67, not Bricknell. And then we get Sullivan 27, Terre Haute 51. So Terre Haute north of Vincennes is the correct choice. And we get this weird peach. I think this is in Sullivan, and it's a bit of a cool spot. And we meet 641, which is signed for 70. If it's freeway, you could sign for Indianapolis instead of nothing. And we do meet I-70 going to St. Louis and Indianapolis, which are good and sensible control cities. On I-70, we get Terre Haute and Evansville, so we can't, there's nothing north of Terre Haute that we can sign. Well, downtown's north, so whatever. And here's a look at downtown Terre Haute. It's a pretty cool town overall. It's nice to see it. And we meet 150, which is going to leave us, which is just signed for evacuation, or Alt 70 or something. And we meet 63, which is insanely awesome. We signed for Chicago. Well, it's freeway the whole way, so why not? And 41 North Rockville, which is fine. And this is what it's like in that 63 bypasses. It's just country roads, basically, throughout the whole run. And we get some nice mountains, so if you don't like driving for these types of stuff, then you could have taken 63, because it's a freeway the whole way. And we meet US 36, which is signed for Montezuma again, in Danville. And then on another road, we get Petersburg as our next control city. So Petersburg, I think, is the way to go. And we meet US 136, which heads over to Indianapolis. We talked about that in the 465 video. And we meet I-74 coming up, going to Peoria in Indianapolis. If you have Peoria, it could be like switched to like something else a bit bigger down the road. And then on I-74, we get Petersburg and Attica. From here, I would switch to Chicago. And we get Attica 10, Hammond 108. Hammond's basically the last town in Indiana. It's in the Chicago area. So if you're going to sign that, put Chicago on there. And I think this is the reason why we have Attica sign off, because of this Indiana 28 junction. That's what you get, Indiana, for putting Attica on that sign. And we're meeting 63 again, and 41's going to be taking over now, which is cool. And we concur with US 52 here, as we get further on north, getting closer to the Chicago area. And US 52 will leave and go US 24 to the west, out there and go to Illinois while we stay in Indiana. And we Indiana 16, Todd Road, which is his favorite road, I think. And we get Schneider 24, Chicago 73. We do get Chicago on here now, which should have been signed from 74. And we meet 231. Wow, we're meeting a ton of U.S. highways that we've met since Florida or Georgia. And we meet US 30, which we haven't met yet. So north of US 30 is basically the Chicago metro area, I think. And this is what it's like on Indianapolis Boulevard, which is pretty cool on 41. And we meet the Borman, so we're going to follow 80 and 94 west along with US 6. We're heading towards Chicago while the other way's going to Detroit. And we get to Calumet Avenue, which will follow basically for the rest of Indiana, I believe. And then this is what it's like on the Calumet, north of I-80 and the Borman, which is pretty cool. And we meet I-90, which is the toll road. It's just signed for Ohio instead of Toledo or Cleveland or New York City or something. But on I-90 we just get Chicago's Skyway, and we're signed for Hammond. Hammond is fine now because you'll be better off taking 90 to downtown Chicago. And we meet 912, which is signed for Klein Avenue, which is basically what it's like. And we get back onto Indianapolis Boulevard, but this time we'll be US 12 and US 20. So we'll turn left with them. And this is what it's like back on Indianapolis Boulevard as we get closer to Chicago itself. And then we cross under 90, the toll road itself. And this is the bridge that takes us from Indiana into Illinois. And then we get this KFC. This picture was taken in Indiana, but the KFC is actually in Illinois, so that's pretty cool. And this is the best we're going to get for you in Illinois. Welcome sign today, middle of Honor Highway. I mean, this highway isn't honorable for something. And on 90, we just get welcome to Chicago. Come on, Illinois, you could do better for welcome sign, especially in your biggest city. Now we turn right here to leave I-90, and then we won't be able to be paralleling it anymore. And then here is where 20 and 12 leaves go on 95th Street, and we'll go on Ewing Avenue. And then we are on Lakeshore Drive. It's not Lakeshore Drive anymore, unfortunately. It's Dunstable Lakeshore Drive. And here's some nice views of some Chicago suburbs before we get into downtown Chicago. And we get a nice view of Lake Michigan here, and a nice downtown Chicago look coming up. And here's some more skyscrapers coming up as we get closer to Chicago. I think we're in city limits by now. And we meet I-55 and 90 and 94, which represents and we do get a good control city of St. Louis here instead of like Joliet or something. And on the end of I-55, they're telling us that trucks should be taking South 41 and then Dunstable Lakeshore Drive, which is horrible. But if you were to go on 55 south from North 41, you get a stunning view of Lake Michigan. And here's an insane, great look of downtown Chicago with the Sears Tower out there. And we do get another look. We have the Sears Tower to the left and some more towers to the straight. And then we get this exit. This is actually a freeway through here, and this exit will take you over to 290. And then we're leaving Chicago, but we still have some nice skyscrapers in the Chicago suburbs, the northern suburbs. And here we meet US 14, so we got a palindrome intersection here with 41 and 14. And then we're getting on 94. This is not the big one that goes to Milwaukee. We're just getting on it for just a little bit. Because here we get off for Waukegan, which is the correct choice out of Chicago, and 94 west for Milwaukee, which is good. And at random interchange, we're getting 41 South Chicago with 94 East and north for Waukegan. And then we get this Skokie Valley Road, which is what Illinois technically does, but on Halloween it should be. Yeah. And then if you were to go downtown Waukegan, you would be turning right here to get on Illinois 137 and then to Waukegan. And then outside of Waukegan, we're getting Chicago and Milwaukee, so no weird Illinois cities in the interchanges. And we get some nice swamps as we're getting on 94 again and leaving Illinois. And this is what it's like getting on I-94 and I-41. Technically spawns out, but I feel like it should start when it leaves 94 in Milwaukee. And here's the last sign I'm going to show you until like another 200 miles up in Green Bay. We're getting 41 in Milwaukee, and we'll jump ahead to Green Bay. We see here, we're jumping in all the way to Green Bay. We're meeting 43 south of Milwaukee, and then north 41 for who knows. And for US 41 spawns as for Interstate 41 ends, we're also concurrent with 141. And at this exit, we're still signed for nothing. So I'm going to have to look at the interchange and see what we get. Alright, so we're getting South Green Bay and north for Marinette and Iron Mountain, which are the correct choices. And on the mileage side, we have Oconto 25, Marinette 45, Iron Mountain 94. So technically, Iron Mountain's our primary here. See, at interchanges, it applies to Green Bay and Marinette Iron Mountain, which are the correct choices for up here in northern Wisconsin. And we see we get this weird rest area, which is kind of like the Atlantic City Turnpike with just nothing. And then we get our split of 141 for Crickets and Iron Mountain. We're going to Oconto and Marinette. And then on another mileage sign, we're getting Oconto 12, Marinette 34, and Escanaba 90, which I think is the biggest city we pass in Michigan. And we get our business 41 for Oconto. We see exit 197. So it is freeway for the whole thing. And we see random interchanges, we're getting nothing now. So no Marinette and no city in Michigan. But on another mileage sign, we get Peshtigo 12, Marinette 19, Escanaba 75. So Escanaba is now our primary. And we see this geographical marker is the 45th parallel, so we're between the equator and the North Pole here. And then we're getting that in Green Bay for south, Marinette's north, so no Escanaba on the interchange, but we get on the mileage signs. You see, they could extend I-41 up to here and start US 41, but instead we get what we get. And here's a look at downtown Marinette, and we'll be leaving Wisconsin soon. And we're crossing this bridge over the river, and we'll be going into Michigan's Upper Peninsula soon. And then we see Menominee City Limits. Is this going to be the best what we get for Welcome to Michigan sign? And here, welcome to Pure Michigan. Alright guys, we can do this. This is our last date and first time in the Upper Peninsula. Let's finish this thing. So right away we get a left turn for Escanaba and Powers, but for some reason 41's not in there. We just get Michigan 35. And we do get a nice view of Lake Michigan from here up here, but it gets better the further north you go. And then we do get mention of US 41, but it has to be like all the other states, but Indiana just get no control city. And then we do get some nice scenery up here in the UP, but it's just like this the whole way, so I'm going to be jumping up a lot. And then we do get a naughty cow site, but how is the cow naughty? And the cow's not even naughty. We do meet US 2 for Iron Mountain. We're going to be concurrent with it to Escanaba, so that's cool right there. And we get Escanaba 23 and Gladstone 32. And we get this weird bike 10 right here. What's that about? And we cross the Ford River because if you're in Michigan, Gerald Ford was here, so we have to have a ton of Ford stuff here. And in Escanaba, we get St. Ignace for US 2 and Marquette for US 41, which are fine control cities. And then we do get this cool Escanaba sign. I always thought that sign was pretty cool. And during our concurrency, we get Rapid River now. So what happened to Marquette and St. Ignace? We just get Rapid River now. Wow. And we're heading towards Marquette now. And 2 is now signed for Manistee. What happened to St. Ignace? You should have that again. And on the miles time, we get Trenton 19 and Marquette 51. Marquette's fine. It's the biggest city we pass on US 41 in Michigan. And now we get Rapid River Escanaba for south and Marquette for north. So far, this is going great. And now we've left Lake Michigan. We'll now be with Lake Superior for the rest of the length. And wow, it's pretty nice up here. And then here's downtown Marquette. It has like 20,000 people, and again, it's the biggest city that we pass in Michigan. And now we're getting -4 in that 7 miles. I don't know about having that, but in that 7-mile city, we do get the ski hall of fame, so I suppose that this cities are being signed. Now we're getting Barga 46, Houghton 73, Wakefield 107. Wow, that's for Michigan 28, so that's a big swing right there. And then we're getting Wakefield and Duluth, Michigan. This is awesome. Wow, can't believe you're doing that. And then we pass Lake Superior, and we have the mountain right there, so it's pretty cool up here in far northern Michigan. And then we're getting Houghton, which is what we're following. The other way's going to Onondaga. Don't know how to say that. But in Houghton, we get Hancock, which is literally right there. We could see it from here, but it's fine because it's the biggest city we pass throughout the rest of the road. And we're there basically right away. And we are signed for nothing once again. But in Hancock, we do get Calumet and Copper Harbor. Copper Harbor's fine because that's where US 41 ends. And on the mileage time, we get Eagle River 16 and Copper Harbor 36. So we're basically going to be ending this road pretty soon. And then north of Eagle River, this is what it's like basically the rest of the way, just 2007 Street View. And this is the last best picture I can get in Street View. The rest of it is going to be 2007 Street View. And we passed this lake. Didn't know the lake name, but now I forgot it, so don't know the lake name as of now. And we come into downtown Copper Harbor, which we're going to be turning right here. And we have our last mile on US 41 here. And this is what it's like. We are in our last half a mile here, so we're about to end it soon. And here's where the northern terminus of US 41 is. Basically at this dirt parking lot in the far northern Michigan. But we could get a look at that better sign, seeing where US 41 goes, so it's a pretty cool ending here. Alright, yay, we finally did it! We covered all 2,000 miles of US 41, but before we close out today, we have to do the way it should be. Alright, this is going to be a long one. So for North, Everglades, Naples, Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, Sarasota, Bradenton, Ruskin, Tampa, Little Lakes, Brooksville, Inverness, Dunedin, Williston, Archer, Newberry, High Springs, Lake City, White Springs, Jasper, Valdosta, Ihura, Idle, Tifton, Ashburn, Corvallis, Vienna, Unadilla, Warner Robins, Macon, Forsyth, Barnesville, Griffin, Hampton, Forest Park, Hapeville, East Point, Atlanta, Smyrna, Marietta, Kennesaw, Cartersville, Calhoun, Dalton, Rangold, Eastridge, Chattanooga, Jasper, Tracy City, Manchester, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Nashville, Goodlettsville, Springfield, Hawkinsville, Nortonville, Madisonville, Sabri, Henderson, Evansville, Vincennes, Terre Haute, Rockville, Veersburg, Attica, Chicago, Hammond, Chicago, Evanston, Howland Park, Waukegan, Milwaukee, Fond du Lac, Appleton, Green Bay, Marinette, Escanaba, Marquette, Hogan, and... Alright, this video is long enough to do Dreamwise Control Cities, so if I-75 and 24 didn't exist, then these would be the control cities. So for North, Tampa, Atlanta, Chattanooga, Nashville, Evansville, Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay, and I just go Lake Superior north of Green Bay because there's nothing up there in Michigan. Alright, that was a lot, but so we'll be taking a break from highways, so we'll do a gimmick video on Thursday, which is each state's favorite control city.